Hello. 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 Welcome, everybody. Y'all ready to get started? Do me a favor and just post the comments on whatever platform you're on, so that way I know you guys can hear and see me okay and everything's working properly. Awesome. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, William. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome, guys. I appreciate it. You guys like these jams? Can you guys hear it? It's a pretty good jam. All right, well, let's just cut to the chase. Let's get started with this. So today we're going to be talking about some digital marketing trends. There's a lot going on with technology right now. As you, I'm sure, can imagine. Let me pause this. I'm sure you can imagine, there's tons happening with AI, artificial intelligence, and in the marketing community, in the SEO community, it's always like everything's going crazy and the sky's always falling and then everything's on fire. But right now with SEO and some of the algorithm updates, things are going nuts. So that being said, I figured it would be important for me to kind of talk about what's going on in the digital marketing space right now, and everything that's happening with technology, new trends, new algorithms. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about X, or previously known as Twitter. So we'll mention that. I think the comments in the chat are a little bit delayed with this stream. So feel free to just type stuff in. I do have people on the back end that are going to help me with some of those questions and some of those comments. But as soon as I see them, I'll try and pick them apart. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right. So we're going to be talking about some digital marketing trends today and talk about a blueprint for your success on these digital marketing platforms. So there'll be a lot of information here. One of the things I want to mention is don't worry about copying slides or like recording anything or like taking notes. I mean, obviously take notes if you feel like it, but everything's going to be recorded and published onto our website later on. So you can go back and view anything later. We'll have probably some good notes written out for you as well, so you can look at that too. All right, so that being said, let's talk about our agenda and what we're going to cover with this webinar. So I'm going to give a little bit of an introduction, and then we're going to start talking about the current landscape of digital marketing. So what's going on currently. Then we're going to talk about the current trends and past trends. And then we'll start covering what we see with current trends in digital marketing, where we think it's going. So what tools and trends are companies currently utilizing? And then we'll finally get into the future of digital marketing. So what we believe it's going to look like, in the next 3 to 5 years. After that, it's kind of like the unknown going that far out, but we'll kind of try and project a little bit 3 to 5 years, what we think is going to start happening. So what does the future look like? And what should you do? How should you prepare? And then finally, we'll just end off with a Q&A session and just conclude from there. That being said, first up, introduction. So about us, if you don't know anything about WolfPack Advising, I'm just going to do a little bit of a background about us. So we are very much visionaries in digital marketing and marketing in general. Our mission is to empower businesses with tools and services that generate driven and calculated results. And our vision for our company is to be a thought leader that brings together the experiences of many to elevate all. So ultimately, our goal isn't just to, do digital marketing. Our goal is to take our tools and services and deliver some powerful, calculated, driven results to a bunch of these companies and take all of this information that we're learning from everybody to empower everybody to grow together. So we do put a heavy focus on looking forward in our digital marketing services and always being on the cutting edge of what's new. So about me, I am a UCF alumni. I'm a former home inspector at Honor Services. I know I look like I'm 14. We'll go ahead and get that joke out of the way now. But I started inspecting when I was 18. I did that for about 3 years. All along the side, I was doing like web design on my own. I then got a job as a marketing and sales manager at Waypoint Inspection over in Tampa, Florida. So I did that for about 2 years, all while I was growing WolfPack Advising along the side. So that entire time, WolfPack Advising was a thing. And here we are today, where I'm CEO of the company. So shifting gears, starting talking about the first section, which is understanding the current digital marketing landscape. With these sections, we're going to dive into different aspects of digital marketing, and we're going to talk about what's going on currently in each aspect. So the current state of digital marketing. We're going to talk about the first aspect, the dominance of social media. We'll talk about video content. We'll talk about the rise of e-commerce and social commerce, how that has changed. We're going to talk about personalization and data privacy. Data privacy is such a huge topic recently, and it's only going to increase. We're going to talk about SEO, of course. We're going to talk about AI and automation. We're going to talk about influencer marketing, content diversity. So like other types of content besides just like blog posts, right? Webinars. We're going to talk about AR, so augmented reality, and those awesome virtual reality headsets from Apple. We're going to talk about that. Data-driven insights will give you a look inside to how we're looking at data to make decisions on some of our marketing efforts. And sustainability and social responsibility. And then finally, agile strategies. How can you adapt quickly? So the first one, dominance of social media. Social media platforms are continuing to be central to digital marketing strategies. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok remain key channels for the promotion of your business and engagement. So the first topic I have here is short form video. The For You content allows you to reach new audience members super quickly. And not only can you post, but interaction is going to drive a lot of your engagement. The changes with Twitter coming. If you guys aren't aware, Twitter was bought out by Elon. Elon has changed it now to X. And Elon's vision for X is to become a super app. A super app is an application that can do many facets of different things. So it could be like a Venmo, like a payment app, but also a social media app, right? It does two main things or a multitude of items. So that being said, he wants it to be like this central square or the city square for everybody to interact. With those changes coming, there's going to be possibly a lot of shakeup in social media as a whole. There's constant algorithm and trend changes, of course, that you need to keep up with. But overall, the biggest thing that I want you to take away with social media is short form video is going to be on the rise, and the For You content is also on the rise for all of these algorithms. So if you look down at the bottom, and I'm now covered, but social media competitor analysis can be a great place to start. So you can look at some audits of that. Let's get into video content. So if you don't know as well, there was this thing called Vine before TikTok, right? And TikTok used to be called like Musical.ly as well. So Musical.ly and TikTok merged. With this, video content and short form videos for live streaming have gained immense popularity. So platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels are crucial for our brands to connect with audience with visually engaging items and just video overall. It's only going to become more popular, especially as we see more people getting access to the internet across the world. And our devices, so everybody's phones, are becoming more powerful to accept video content on the daily. So everybody can be driving around and have 5G Wi-Fi to be able to connect with something. So old trends, many business owners think that short form video is brand new, but in fact, it existed a long time ago with Vine, but now it's just coming into increased popularity with TikTok and now YouTube Shorts, Reels. So due to the For You algorithm, to where previously it was just all like who you're following, the For You algorithm is all about posting those videos there and promoting your business to a brand new audience. And that's kind of how the algorithms are now changing across social media. One of the things to keep in mind is don't plan content too far ahead with this, because there's tons of pop culture, new news, trends. All of these things are constantly changing on these For You algorithms. So if you plan ahead a month, there's going to be a new trend that's already happening, new music and audio, a new style of video editing that's happening on that algorithm. Some content type ideas for you: memes, on the job videos, office jokes, and then some template tools you can use. I know I might be hidden, so I can see if I could shift over there. Template tools you can use for this are going to be CapCut, which is TikTok's video editor. And then also there's Capwing, which is a paid version. So if you have a business and you guys do social media internally, look at CapCut, look at Capwing. Capwing is a paid service, but it can be super helpful. All right. Rise of e-commerce. So the COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the growth of e-commerce, and social commerce has emerged as a significant trend. Brands are leveraging platforms like Instagram, Pinterest to enable direct purchasing through their apps. So the pandemic definitely transitioned a lot of stuff over to e-commerce to where you can buy stuff online. It enabled talk to purchase options for users. And one of the big points that we like to make is us young people don't like phone calls. If I could text everything, you can imagine like Uber Eats, where they just like leave it at the door. Everybody just doesn't want to call, doesn't want to talk to anybody. Online schedulers are a huge trend. I know a lot of you are probably using online schedulers for your business, whether that's inspections, pest control, or something else. Social media messages or text options. So if you don't already, make sure you have somebody monitoring your social media platforms for messages. If you can accept text messages, you should accept text messages on your main line. It shouldn't be another line. It should be just your main office line. And people use links to purchase from brands they see on social. So on the right-hand side, you can see that Linktree account. That is our personal Linktree that we use for our company. And you could see people can easily schedule a consultation or click on a ton of different links through there. Now, our next topic is about personalization and data privacy. So consumers expect personalized experiences, prompting brands to use data-driven insights for targeted campaigns. So basically think consumers want a personalized experience, and companies have to use data-driven insights in order to deliver those personalized experiences. However, there's so many increasing concerns around data privacy, right? And consumers are getting more cautious about what they share with businesses. So you can think of different laws and restrictions like the GDPR. There's tons of ones coming out in Europe and California that we've probably heard of. And it's challenging marketers to find a balance between personalization and also privacy. So in some of these recommendations and this trend going forward, I'm going to give some recommendations for what we can do about it as marketers. The first one is syncing of your tech stack. So make sure that your tech stack, if you're utilizing something like Slack and then a different scheduler, or maybe you're using one CRM and then a scheduling system, make sure they can all communicate. That's one of the biggest things we need to ensure, is that data between your tech stacks and where your data is can communicate fairly easily. Transparency with data collection. So make sure that if you're collecting data, the consumers know about it, right? So if you're collecting information such as their phone number, email address, obviously they're entering that. Make sure you state how you're going to utilize it. It's going to be increasingly important to make sure you have a privacy policy on your website. Right now, it's not required to have like a privacy policy on your website if you are a smaller business. I believe in the state of Florida, don't quote me on it, but it's like 25 employees or more is when it becomes required. I'd have to look up and double check, but I know it's becoming increasingly important. It might not be Florida, that might be California. And then in other states, they're adopting similar policies. So if you own a larger business, a larger small business, that might be something you really need to look into, especially with like cookies. So if you heard of browser cookies, that's another thing. Is there now policies and laws in place around which companies and which businesses need to have those on as well. So provide opt-in options for personalization. Make it very clear, like a checkbox, not an automatically opt-in, but they have to check a box. And do not automatically opt users in, kind of what I just mentioned. Finally, check state laws for cookie and privacy policies, as I kind of mentioned. This is becoming an increasing trend where it started with California and in Europe, where they're requiring cookie and privacy policies. It is going to increase across different states. I can definitely see that happening. SEO, search engine optimization. Search engines are adding AI. We'll get and show a graphic at the end of this. We're going to show a bunch of graphics at the end of different technology, but search engines are adding artificial intelligence. And what that does is sometimes people just need a quick answer. And instead of clicking on something to find an answer and providing an opportunity for you to make a conversion, they just give the answer and provide a little footnote of the link of maybe to your website. And it's kind of changing the landscape for how search algorithms might serve information and how many people are clicking on your website. It can have pros and cons to it, but we'll start talking about it a little bit later on about what exactly is happening with search algorithms right now. So it's limiting. There are limiting ways to bypass the algorithm. As I'm sure a lot of you have heard in the past, you could just like add some keywords, right? That doesn't work anymore. You can't just add keywords and expect a rank. Mobile first always. So about 50% of US website traffic is mobile. Lots of mobile traffic. So make sure when you're designing, when you're doing any edits, anything like that, you're always mobile first. And then, of course, stick with SEO best practices. So do not pay for links, try and go around the system. Google's only getting more and more sophisticated. It's just not worth it anymore. As I have with this last point, SEO is a long game. So it's definitely something that in the past you could just make a change and then maybe see the results in like a month or two. Now it's you start seeing results in 3, results happen at 6, real results happen at a year. And it can be that long. AI and automation. So AI, artificial intelligence, will adjust digital marketing strategy implementation. So chatbots, AI-powered analytics, AI-powered advertising programs and algorithms. They're streamlining processes for customer interactions and also for us marketers, right? It's becoming a lot easier to just start a campaign and have it optimize itself. While an AI cannot replace a current content writer right now, it helps speed up the process right now. You can find ways to use AI in your office. I know I use it almost every single day. If you don't have already trainings with your office team or office person, even for yourself to utilize AI and how you can have it within your tech stack, you should start looking at that. And we'll talk about at the end some of these AI tools that we use. Influencer marketing. So on the image there, you can actually see this paid partnership thing. And it's a very small creator. They have only like 49 likes on this TikTok. Influencer marketing is basically involving paid partnerships on social media so brands can reach different audiences. So if you were a brand or a home inspection company, you could pay a broker to become a paid partner of that broker. So when they are maybe an influential broker on TikTok or on Instagram, you can pay them to advertise and reach their audience specifically rather than going directly to Facebook for the marketing. And it can be less expensive and it can also be more targeted. So you can partner with these voices that are commonly heard. And the general population has become distrustful with mega influencers. So very large influencers such as, say, Beyonce or Kim Kardashian, a lot of people have become just distrustful. But with smaller creators and smaller influencers, it can be a lot more impactful. And their followers share with their followers. So one of the big points is with these smaller creators, a lot of times it becomes more impactful and they share it with their friends as well. So one thing to keep in mind if you're looking at paid partnerships or influencer marketing with maybe anybody that you find on Instagram or TikTok or something like that, be aware of the requirements for it. You do have to disclose it, even with very small creators. So keep that in mind. Content diversity. So content diversity includes various formats of content for interactive content, webinars, virtual events, things like that. Brands have to focus on providing value on these different channels to reach an audience now. It's not just one channel. So the most common one that we see is blogging and content writing. But there's also video and YouTube. It's another content piece. Short form video. You can recycle a lot of your long form content, such as this webinar, onto short form video. You can do webinars, events. You can even do podcasts. I'm sure everyone has heard and thought about starting a podcast. Go ahead and comment. I want to see if you thought about starting a podcast or if you already have one in the comments. That would be amazing. Because right now, there's so many articles of it being oversaturated. So if you're thinking about starting a podcast, don't do it unless you're super serious about it. All right. And one of the important things here, let me remove my face again, is linking your content to other mediums. So not only can you just post your content on all these different platforms, but link it together. Let's get into some of our last ones here, and then we'll conclude off with some of the cool new things to look at, some of the future of the of digital marketing trends that we're seeing. So augmented reality and virtual reality. Nick Gosson says, I've thought about doing a podcast. I don't think I'll do it, though. Why don't you think you'll do it, Nick? I'd love to know. So augmented and virtual reality. Everybody heard of Vision Pro? Who wants the Vision Pro? I've already listed myself to get notified, even though it's super expensive. I don't know if I'll do it, but it looks super cool. And let me know if you haven't heard of it. If you haven't heard of it, I'd be super interested in that. But ultimately, augmented and virtual reality is super good and useful for interactive demonstrations and models. You might have seen the AR and VR like stuff posted through like seeing like what would your walls look like with new paint or a piece of furniture. There's even stuff for like if you put on this new outfit, what would it look like on you? And you can use augmented reality to do that. It's also possible to use it as a potential training resource. Right now, I will say with the current trends of it is there haven't been super impactful use cases. They're trying to use it for gaming. Sometimes they have it for work, but it hasn't been super powerful just quite yet and super well adopted. I would say the majority of people do not have like AR or VR in their daily lives yet. But the Vision Pro is definitely a promise or a thought that it could come more broadly to consumers and also to us working, right? If I could sit here with a Vision Pro headset and instead of have tons of monitors, I could just have the headset to be able to communicate and do all of my work online. Data-driven insights. So data analytics tools are crucial for understanding customer behavior, measuring campaign performance, and making informed decisions. Marketers are relying on data to optimize strategies and achieve better ROI. So tracing return on investment, or ROI, to make necessary marketing plan adjustments is super crucial. You need to have some type of platform to be able to do that. And we'll talk about some of the platforms here. It also helps to know how much money you should be spending on marketing, and the data-driven insights can tell you that. For example, if you know that at $1,000 a month, your cost per lead is $10, let's say, and with now a budget of say $2,000, your cost per lead is $20. Well, are you good with that cost per lead, or should you take your budget down? Because ultimately, doing that and listening to those different data driven insights, you can say when you should stop increasing your budget and when you should increase it to get more business. There's some tools. Google Analytics is a huge one. Obviously, everybody should know about that. It collects data from your websites and creates reports that provide insights into your business. CallRail and What Converts. You can go to callrail.com, whatconverts.com. Very two popular ones in order to track analytics for like phone calls and lead sources. It has call tracking software and also form tracking software to track everything inbound. So phone calls, email, chatbots, form submissions, tons of different things, especially from like a site of Google Ads versus Facebook ads. I could track everything and see where it's all coming from. So Nick says, I'm having a hard time focusing on what to do one on. Nick, are you looking for the standpoint of your podcast being like an asset to your business or like an alternative career choice? Because if you think about it from an asset to your business for other content, I would go to the standpoint of what is the type of content my consumer wants to hear? Because you need to reach your consumer and then go from there. And you have two routes if you're a home inspection company, for an example. You can target the agent or you can target regular consumers. So you could talk about like home maintenance, or you could talk about like with agents, how do you get more business, right? Okay, asset of the business. So are you a home inspector? Pest control? Show this. Home inspector. So Nick, focus on either two things. You could focus on the agent if you want more referrals from agents, or you can focus on the regular consumer. Okay. And then think about from their perspective, if you're an agent or if you're a consumer, what is going to get you to listen into something on, say, your way to work? If I was a brand new agent, that would be, how do I get more business? That would be real estate trends. So if you see these home inspection podcasts where it's by home inspection companies and the podcast is about like home inspection stuff, most agents aren't that interested in that. You're going to attract other home inspectors. So that's something to keep in mind. Google Search Console is our last one here, where it helps you monitor, maintain, and troubleshoot your site's presence. It's our third tool that I would definitely recommend. Definitely beginner tools. There's more advanced ones, but if you have these three, you're well on your way. All right. Let's talk about, I believe this is our last one. Yeah, dude. Focus on agents. Heck yeah. I'd love to talk more if you want to message us. I'd love to help if I can. Just give you different ideas. If not, that's cool too. So finally, sustainability and social responsibility. It's becoming increasingly important. And I know with certain brands, and in some cases, people can think it's polarizing, but it doesn't have to be polarizing. So you don't have to support one particular cause or anything like that. At least what I would recommend is look at something. So support something, such as feeding children, taking care of homeless kids, right? No rightful person is going to be upset when you say like, hey, yeah, we have this cause for feeding children, right? Nobody's going to be super insulted by that. The main point I want to drive here is that a lot of the younger generation, it's becoming increasingly important for them. So if you are looking to scale your business and want to appeal to that particular audience and show that you're passionate for a change, you could definitely get behind something like that. And for us at WolfPack, it's I mean, obviously, there's so many important causes, but we've committed to cleaning up the oceans before. We've committed to planting trees. We've donated to public schools and to teachers. So we've done a lot of things, and it's not necessarily because we're trying to just get more business, right? But we're trying to be relatable and show what we value, show what's important to us. So when you choose something, make sure it's important to you because that's what matters. All right. Finally, agile strategies. So, this fast paced digital marketing landscape, as you see when we get to the end of this, we'll talk about some of the what's to look on in the future. It requires marketers and businesses to adapt super quickly. So, at the start of this, we talked about some of the past stuff that has happened and what's these current trends, right? We have to be super flexible and adaptable. And it's crucial to adapt quickly, as we've seen with AI now. And I'm telling you right now, AI is only going to get better. This is the worst it's ever going to be. So it's only going to start changing faster and it's only going to get better, which that might send you in a full on panic mode, but it also can be super beneficial if you lean into it the right way. So as technology changes, the speed at which it changes gets faster. And I want you to focus on individual productivity with this. So individual productivity, employee productivity increases. And it requires all businesses to move faster and requires all businesses to become more productive and more efficient. So when you're looking at becoming more agile as a business, start thinking about how can I increase my efficiency and my productivity. So some of these recommendations: adapt quickly, find someone who knows better than you to learn from on a particular topic, right? I don't know everything. I'm sure you guys don't know everything. So find somebody you can learn from. Don't take on every trend on your own, and track return and adjust as needed. So this stuff with AI, don't just throw it into your pile of things to do and say, well, this is what we're going to do. Start tracking. How is it affecting your business? How is it changing that bottom line? Finally, we're ending on the future of marketing. So we talked about, with all these different aspects, these current trends. Now, these are things you should start focusing on in the future. What you need to start preparing for now in order to grow your business in the next 3 to 5 years with digital marketing. So I have some interesting charts here. This first one is from Charter. You can go to Charter. I think it's just charter.com in order to get these newsletters. I get these daily. And this chart shows the company executives who can't stop talking about AI to investors. So what we're seeing is the percent of share of companies that are referencing artificial intelligence on earnings calls. And if you look from 2015 to where we are today, it is just dramatic. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? Besides, they're talking about it, but you could probably take away that they're probably saying, hey, there's threats here or there's opportunities here, right? It's two things, either a threat or an opportunity. Hopefully, you guys can lean into it and see it as an opportunity for your business. You just have to pivot the right way. So far, AI tools have found the most traction in marketing and sales. Isn't that interesting? So this is another chart from Charter. The left one, so right here, this is marketing and sales. 14% and are saying that they use it for these particular items in marketing and sales. So the first one is creating first drafts of texts. So a lot of times we're writing stuff. I will tell you, for this presentation, AI wrote a lot of this presentation. Every piece of content you see from us, it has been a first draft by AI. We do review everything and we do make tons of edits, but we use AI every single day with that. Personalized marketing to help your marketing efforts become more personalized, right? As we talked before. And summarizing text and docs. So if you have a huge long thing and you need to just summarize it, instead of reading the whole thing, you just have it summarize some text for you. And product and servicing, next one is 13%. We have identifying trends, drafting technical docs. So with your home inspection reports, I really hope home inspection software and pest control software starts getting some AI involved. Whoever does that first is going to be really, really happy. And I'm sure if, you had some auto comments that could be written by AI or something, or like your summary could be summarized through AI, how cool would that be? Right? I know it's kind of like systemized right now where it's like, boom, boom, click that. But how cool of an idea to be able to implement some of this AI into your servicing. Maybe to identify some trends, drafting technical docs, as I mentioned, or creating product designs. But this last one, 10%, use it in service operations. And the most common one is use of chatbots. So if you look at our website, we have a little chatbot on the bottom right-hand side. You can search anything with that and find the answer in our help center, and the AI will find it for you. So that's one of the options you can utilize it for. If you have a really big office and you have tons of questions that are always coming into your office that your office team is being bogged down with, you can use those chatbots, such as Intercom, in order to provide those answers quickly. All right. Let's talk about some emerging tech tools. First up, ChatGPT. ChatGPT reigns supreme, as I'm saying here, reigns supreme for AI usage. There's so many people using ChatGPT, and I have a bookmark of ChatGPT on my computer. Now, I'm on the computer every day, but it helps me with a lot of this stuff. But also, some unique ones. Google is experimenting with AI tools and updating search with AI responses, which I'll show a screenshot of here in a moment. But this is Google Bard. So Google Bard is ChatGPT's version, or I'm sorry, Google's version of ChatGPT. This is a more or less creative version, I would say, of ChatGPT, but it's very effective as well. If we look here in a Google search, I took a screenshot where we can see Google is experimenting. Let me take up my video again. Google is experimenting with AI tools and updating search with AI responses. So ultimately, this is going to have a huge impact on SEO. So what I was getting at previously, right now, this is just an experiment. So you may not even see this on Google yourself, but if you do have access to the experiments, you're going to be able to see this and utilize it. It's coming at some point, and it's going to change up a lot of what we see. Now, with this right now, doesn't have that much of a change, as we can see, but with some searches, it is going to change a lot of things. Loom can save meeting time and uses AI to summarize your videos. If you're a customer of WolfPack, you've probably seen our Loom videos. We send Loom videos instead of doing meetings. So if you have a ton of meetings and you want to stop wasting time, become more productive, more efficient, get Loom. And Loom can summarize the title. So it automatically makes a title for you of the video and what it's about. Adds a summary and clickable table of contents. So you can click on section 2, how do I do that? And it can automatically do that for you. Automatically takes out ums and us, as I just used, and ands, whatever kind of filler text and filler words that you're utilizing, it automatically takes that out. So that's pretty cool too. ClickUp and ClickUp AI helps teams become and stay productive. So ClickUp is a really cool application that I wish a lot of more businesses utilized, and a lot more software companies could see how they're making everybody more efficient and productive. I want to show you an example of ClickUp by opening up our own ClickUp account, and then I'm going to share my screen with it. So let me go, let's add a new doc. Let's do this. All right. And let's stop the screen share, and we're going to present this one. Okay. So this is a ClickUp document. So just like with Google Docs, ClickUp has documents as well. ClickUp is a project management software. It's really good for using tasks. but it also is really good for holding SOPs, like your standard operating procedures, right? Guidebooks, any information that you have. As you can see here, there's tons of different tools you could utilize. But there's a nice AI tool for summarizing, and I can give this a title. Give it a title, and then I'm just going to go to settings real quick, make it a little bit more pretty, so that way you can see how pretty it can be. And then I can do a /AI. You can use the Write with AI to write about anything, or you can utilize the AI tools. So for marketing, you can use it to do all of these types of things. And I'm telling you, even for this webinar, this whole webinar series we have going on, it did so much. I didn't have to do a lot of it. And I still edited, but it helped increase my productivity and efficiency on this. So if you have an office team, if you have SOPs, if you need to write, let's search SOP, process SOP, and let's do their example of customer support workflow for office. Great, generate. Now it automatically generates that SOP. If you have no place to start, right, it has the entire SOP already made. And then you just click insert. There you go. Now you can just search. So there's a command search option, and it will search all of your SOP documents in order to find information super quickly. I'm actually possibly working with a few companies to help them implement this as well, so as they can implement all of their SOPs, all of their documentation, and their entire team into this, and then just quickly search for documents and help docs and whatever they need. All right, let's get back and let's share this tab again. So I talked about ClickUp AI as well. So finally, let's talk about our predictions and recommendations. Artificial intelligence is only going to get better, people. As a company, you have to pivot and you have to find ways to implement it into your business. If you're looking to be in business in the next 3 to 5 years, you need to be looking at AI. Because AI is only going to get faster, as I mentioned. Today is the only time I'm sorry, let me rephrase. It's the worst it's ever going to be today. Tomorrow, it's going to be better. So you're going to have to utilize it somehow. All right. Start with something like ClickUp AI. Start with something ChatGPT. Start playing with it. And hopefully, these software companies start utilizing more in their software and find cool ways to utilize it. But we sometimes might need to tell them. So don't be afraid to tell the software companies to make the adjustments and how they should implement it. Sometimes they don't implement it the right way and it doesn't work well. But hopefully they start leaning into that. Otherwise, someone will, and somebody will outdo them. Secondly, employee productivity should increase in your business. This means that your business should bring in more revenue per employee. So work to increase efficiency and productivity. All right. And then finally, augmented reality and virtual reality are still too far away to see how it could impact marketing and business in general. But it's something that we need to keep an eye on, because in the next 3 to 5 years, we'll have our answer. That being said, we'll go into some Q&A. So at this time, I know we got tons of people from different platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. We can see your comments, so feel free to comment in if you have any questions. I'm going to continue on with some of these resources that I have available, but I'm also going to be able to see your questions that you have. So on staying up to date on this stuff, you can scan this QR code. So whip out your phone. If you're watching on your phone, this meeting is all going to be recorded so you can look at it later. But this is going to be a way to subscribe to basically our newsletters that come out every Friday, so you can stay up to date on what we're talking about. And we do talk about this AI stuff all the time. I'm going to keep going, but if you need this back, you can just pause or rewind. The digital marketing blog, we update about all this stuff too on our blog. So that's wolfpackadvising.com/blog. Our conference, WolfPack Summit, is taking place in January. We're talking about AI at the conference. We're bringing in a group of industry leaders and talking about what's next in the home inspection and pest control industry. So something you might want to look into as well. And let's finally end on some of the other webinars that we have hosting. So next month, my wife and I are doing kind of like a co-op webinar where we're talking about mastering social media. So we'll do a deep dive into social media and short form video. The next one in October, financial fitness. We're bringing in RTC accounting for accounting tips for your business success. On October 26th, so the same month, SEO. We're going to do a deep dive on SEO. November 16th, email marketing and how you can utilize email marketing for effective campaigns. December 7th, so in December, we have Mark Hummel coming to visit from IEB, and he's talking about entrepreneurial mindset and unleashing your inner business leader. And then I think our last one is going to be on sales mastery. So techniques for closing deals and driving revenue. If you have marketing people, if you have an office people, if you're the salesperson, right? If you're the business owner, you're a salesperson, that's going to be one you definitely want to attend. And that's going to be with a Secure 24 as the guest of that one. So thank you all for attending our first ever webinar for WolfPack Unleashed. As I mentioned before, we have tons more coming. And we're kind of doing this as a lead up to our summit, our in-person event in January. But thank you all for all being here. I super appreciate all of you being here in a live attendance. And this is recorded, so it'll be published later if you need to go back to it. So thank you all. Thank you, everybody. We're going to edit here. See ya.